Well, hello and welcome back to the Andrew Eborn Show. I'm delighted that it's the return of my very special guest all the way over in Toronto, Mahdi Gilbert. How you doing, Mahdi?
Hello, Andrew. I am doing good. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. We've been missing you. I'll tell you what, in lockdown, your hair is different. You've got a different setup. Last time we spoke, you were just in the process of getting a new computer and you're going to do all these Zoom shows and things like that. How did that work out?
So I ended up not getting a new computer. I ended up fixing my computer that took me weeks and weeks of effort. And it was actually a piece inside the laptop that for whatever reason got fried or whatever. Maybe I've just been using my computer too much in the last few months. So I've had to replace that and it's been working fine. And as you said, doing the virtual shows has been a very interesting experience.
And it is very different, isn't it? I've been talking to lots of people, including sort of A-list stars who've been trying to do, they're normally performing massive gigs. So we've had people from Yes and from Asia and from Kasabian who are all doing these huge, huge gigs normally. And they're doing it just as we were doing. They were chatting to me. Very different atmosphere, isn't it?
It's totally different in terms of the interaction and feedback. One of the things that, and I'm constantly learning about the technology, but one of the things that I found helped me a lot was learning how to use Zoom. And for example, when you come to my show, you have to click a permission, whether you want me to be in control of your microphone or not. So I can unmute somebody quickly, I can mute them, and it just helps with the pacing of the flow instead of, oh, hey, Andrew, let me ask you something. Tell me stop whenever you want. And then they have to fumble and, go unmute themselves. And there's a lot of slowdowns with the technology. So I find if you can make that easier, you can make it into a more natural interaction. So there's a lot of things like that. But to me, more than just the Zoom shows, I'm very curious as to what will happen moving forward with the online interface. And by that, I mean going forward into the real world with going back to real performances. I think in the beginning, we will have sort of a hybrid situation where you will have limited people at events with spacing and social distancing, all that stuff. And then some people will be able to join in from home. So my question is, what will the future of those events look like? And then when we are back more or less to normal, I think there's still a lot of interesting things that we can do with the technology, with the Zoom. For example, imagine, if you will, going to see a show with a celebrity or whatever, and they're going to do the show, you're going to the live show in person. But imagine if for an extra, I don't know, $5, you get a backstage pass and all of a sudden you're on a Zoom and you're following them around for the 2 hours before the show as they, get ready at their hotel, they go to the venue, they're chatting with all their fans, you see them preparing backstage, sort of the magic behind the show. And then they come out on stage, you turn off your phone and you see them in front of you. So I think there's a lot of interesting things like that we're going to see with the technology, just because people are now more used to connecting and using this technology, whereas before it was wildly new and I would say unpopular. And
I think you're absolutely right, Maddie. And I think it's that the people who've done really well in this, and not those who've just come and I've seen so many of these shows. There are those who just come on and do their normal set, disregarding what the technology is, and they miss out because this is a new way of communicating. If you can use the technology and adapt your act in that sort of way, that's the best way of approaching it.
It is. So, I mean, for me in Magic, I've been trying to do stuff that's more interactive. I always try to get the audience involved because otherwise there's no point. Well, I mean, I could literally just send the audience a video of a show and just tell them watch it.
Right.
Here's the show. What do you want me here for? So again, it's always about connecting with people. You want to do it for them. It is very hard though, and I will say I have had challenges in the last few months doing the virtual shows. Sometimes you do a virtual show you have good energy, good connection with people. Sometimes, for whatever reason, people don't want to interact so much. Maybe they don't want to be on camera. Maybe they don't want to give you that feedback. And so I remember, like, I've done shows where I get to the end of the trick and I'm doing the magic, and usually I hear applause, I hear laughter, I hear, some sort of reaction. And, imagine you're doing this magic, you get to the end of the trick, silence, nothing. And it's almost comical because, you're used to that feedback. So I just start laughing, like I've just done this incredible piece of magic and there's nobody reacting. The room is dead. What's going on?
Yeah, it is really, and as I say, the best analogy I can give is that we were talking to people like Sir Paul McCartney, and you had Kasabian, who are normally doing tens of thousands of people and going out on stage, and you do that, and you get that interaction, and having to do this, you're adapting in a different sort of way, and you miss that moment, but it also throws off. When you're talking about performing as a magician, it throws off your timing as well, doesn't it? Or you have to adapt it. So if you're telling a joke, there's a certain rhythm to the trick. And the rhythm to the trick is you're allowing a pause for applause, or pause for the comedic reaction, so you get laughter and so on and so forth. If you don't have that, it's a very different way of presenting.
It is completely different. And for somebody like me, I think different performing personas have different things that they do. And so there's a lot of people that come in and they bring all the energy to the event. I'm very much different. I come in as myself, I bring people up, and really the interactions bring the energy and that sort of tension and conflict. Or amusement, whatever the emotions happening in the drama that we're creating, that to me is how I usually create my shows in person. And I found with this, when I was first trying it, and you're just performing in front of a screen, you have to bring all the energy. So for me, it was very unnatural because I would come on and like, I can't just come, okay, guys, now we're going to do a trick and I'm going to deal some cards and just tell me when to, stop. No, I had to come in, okay, we're going to do something. Look, I'm going to shuffle the deck and are you there? I don't know. Are you alive? let me unmute you. Okay, you're there. Tell me stop whenever you want. And I felt like I had to almost exaggerate my enthusiasm.
Oh no, I think you're absolutely, and it is different, and this is why media's changed throughout the years. When you used to do a video killed the radio star, they used to say, and you had the magic of radio when you can conjure up certain images and you get fantastic, the Piddingtons and so on and so forth, people who would work on radio and do magic in that sort of way, to then making it magic in live events where you can do one act which could last you a lifetime. You could go around different theatres, nobody would see the same show twice because effectively you're different towns all the time, to television, which is basically a vampire of content. You turn around and you have to come up with something different all of the time. And I think adapting to the media is really, really important.
I think it is. I think you need to figure out how to do it so that it actually feels natural to you and so that it's not fake. One thing that I noticed, and many people know this, for example, on YouTube, is people want to have their retention rate going up. They want people to stay there. So oftentimes you'll see people who are making YouTube videos act very erratic. They're talking faster than they usually would talk. The enthusiasm is bizarrely through the roof. They'll start a video and it'll be like a close-up. Check out this quick trick I'm going to show you. You're not going to blow your mind. And they're just like, you're almost like, wow, is this person on drugs or something? Like they're just.
They could well be. You're right.
They could be, but you know what I mean? And it's not just in magic, it's in everything. They bring this enthusiasm because they want to make it like frantic and bring up the attention and the drama. And for somebody who can do that, who has a personality, they can do that, that's great. But for me, it's so unnatural. I can do it as a joke, But I can't prolong it for more than 10 seconds. I'm exhausted.
But that's the secret, isn't it? It's to be engaging. So you're right. You need light and shade to keep people hooked and so on and so forth in this new media. And talking about people being hooked, straight after the break, you're going to show us something.
Yes, and grab a deck of cards. We'll do something together.
Fantastic. Okay, for now, Mahdi, thank you very much for joining us.